And now we're live. Hello, Owen.
Hi, Ben.
Thank
Good to see you.
I know. It's very kind of you. And thank you for clarifying the pronunciation of your name, which I got very, very wrong. I always forget to ask that question. And I was going to go with the very German Owen Auger pronunciation, which is just Auger.
Auger.
Correct?
That's quite right. Auger.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a good start, getting your name right. My God. Should also apologize for that very, very dodgy intro music. I picked that last minute, and that was classic YouTube intro music. So there you go. Anyway, onwards and upwards from there.
All good.
So you're you where in the world are you based again? New Zealand? Where precisely?
I'm in Auckland, New Zealand. So for those that probably Auckland is on the North Shore where I live, and these days working from home, so I rarely.
Of course.
Well, it's uncommon for me to venture too far out, although things are opening up a bit here. So.
Okay. Yeah, we have the opposite in Germany at the moment. Things are slowly shutting back down again. So, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I should just do a quick warning. If you hear a scream in the background, it's because my children are not yet in bed, and bedtime tends to be the most manic and crazy time in my house. So the screams, if in the background, do not call the German police. It's just my children refusing going to bed. It's very, very normal. Anyway.
No worries. Yeah.
You're a DAX man, correct? You love a bit of DAX.
That's a good description. I think I hadn't. In fact, maybe that can be my YouTube sort of channel title once I step up here, DAX man.
I will subscribe to that, no doubt.
I see.
Yeah,
hey, Jeff. I just but DAX, DAX is my sort of. I guess that's probably where I started off learning back in the Power Pivot days, and just sort of have ended up with a special sort of affinity for DAX, and I think so this was the first book I
love it.
Picked up DAX from back in Rob Colley's book, so shout out to that on that one.
But yeah, I think I mocked my boss with this book the other day. I think was it you posted a photograph of it on Twitter, and I sent it to my boss because my boss loves a little bit of Power Pivot, you see. So we always mock him that basically he topped out with Power Pivot when it comes to the power package. I would say yo back to Jeff, but I might get sued by a guy in the cube, so I'll just do a very English hello and good evening or good morning to wherever you are in the world. Is that Nabil song, the DAX man? Could well be Nabil song, the DAX man.
Interesting. Okay.
There was also I'm thinking of Scatman, which definitely wasn't the Beatles. I believe that was Scatman John. So if you want to do a cover of Scatman John Scatman instead of call yourself the Daxman, you go for it. If the stage is yours, if you want to sing away. I mean, we had Kerry dancing once. So if you want to sing, this is perfectly fine.
Wow. Okay. I'm more of a flute player actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
But I could yeah. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Well, if we were looking for musical acts, maybe maybe later on.
This could go on the Christmas edition on the 23rd. We'll just invite 10 people on, and you can perform live acts and stuff. It'll be fantastic. See, it's a good thing I didn't know you played the flute. Otherwise, I would definitely have said, "Please, Brent, come on and play the flute for us." The flute for us. Nah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, exactly, Johnny. He knows it. Ski about a bit of a bop. I'm a scat man. That song is going to be actually. That song is going to be in my head the entire 45 minutes. Now I'm just going to be sitting here. You're going to be sitting there talking about like really complex, awesome Power BI DAX related stuff, and in my head I'm just going to be just singing the Scatman. So that's it. I'm done. Anyway,
no, go good. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the Power BI Fest, by the way? Because that was
awesome. Yeah. Look, I watched one or two sessions apart from my own. I was a bit busy that weekend, just gone. But I did really enjoy presenting. I think it was and obviously my topic was did relate to DAX and some did cover DAX in some areas. So it was a good. I mean, I'm keen to go back and watch a bunch of recordings I missed of the sessions I missed. Yeah, it seemed to be
I managed
really good.
I managed to watch more than expected, given the weekend, but I kind of had my laptop open when I was cooking and watching stuff. I watched quite a few. I must admit, the two that I missed that I wanted to watch, one was yours. I do apologize.
Right.
I got the final few minutes and I was like, okay, that sounds like it would be really cool. So I watched that one. The other one that I didn't see was Bernat. I missed that one as well. So they are the two that I kind of but there was loads of really cool sessions. And I was watching it and I was like, this organization was astonishing. Like really put that sort of thing together was for me really impressive. I don't know how the hell they did that. It was mad, truly.
Yeah. I mean, I mean my one, all I can say is my session went smoothly. I think we were just trying to get my my talking head in the right place on the screen. That was the only little sort of issue we dealt with. But apart from that, it was really good. Had moderators there, very well organized. It was all So no, it's a while since I've done a sort of any sort of presentation, so it was good to sort of exercise the vocal cords a bit more and
cool. I'll say I learned last week doing this with Oz that I'm really bad at reading the comments as people write. Oz was just like seemingly talking and reading at the same time. I don't know how he does that. So when people say things, when like make comments and say hello and then like forget or don't say hi, I'm not being rude. I'm just really, really bad at it. So I'll try my best to say hello and comment on everyone's comment and that sort of thing. Anyway, I when I was doing my kind of, I always feel a bit like a stalker before I do these because I feel I ping everyone's LinkedIn and they get all this stuff like Ben Ferry has watched your profile, which is the world's most annoying notification in the world. You and I sent a quick tweet about this as well. You were talking about you have a presentation which I thought you'd already done, which is why I tweeted about it, but you just mentioned that it's been delayed until May. I'm so sorry for that. But you're talking about visualizing DAX, right? That was the gist of it.
Yeah.
No? I'm curious.
The idea with that one, and to be honest, with the delays, I'm still putting it together. I mean, it's kind of a concept that I think if I guess a big problem I think a lot of people have with that is really seeing, even in their mind's eye or anywhere, seeing what's going on and actually understanding, okay, this table is being created on the fly, we're adding these columns, we're summarizing by this. So those kind of operations and I guess the logic of or the sequence of the calculation, if you're simply writing code and hoping to get it right, often it's difficult unless you have some way of visualizing things. So I think what I'm planning to present there is one, before you even write any DAX, thinking through the structure and the sequence of what you want to do. A bit like actually my Power BI Fest presentation, there was a part of it that was, I had one slide where we sort of visualized, okay, you got this table of start and end dates, you expand that out, so you've got every date listed, and then you summarize by that date column. So it's kind of the sequence of, kind of the step-by-step sequence of what's going on behind the scenes, planning it out, and then maybe if you pick up someone else's code, doing the sort of reverse engineering it to get back to what their thought process was in the visual form. So it'll be about sort of sketching diagrams of what's going on.
Cool.
Yeah, but
that's really interesting. I mean, for someone like me, that is really helpful because, I mean, I make no secret of the fact that DAX is certainly like not the part that I struggle on the most, if you will. Like really, obviously, I do what I do and I Google and I learn and all that kind of stuff. But then someone comes along and just writes this amazing bit of code on the fly. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. And so the visual, I never even like considered that as a concept of actually visualizing what is going to happen when I do each process. I think it's because I learned in a really unstructured way. And I think maybe the unstructured way in which I learn also reflects the unstructured level of my DAX. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm now going to try the following 10 things. Maybe one of these will work. We shall find out. It's quite a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of us struggle from time to time. I think regardless, like especially functions I haven't used in a while, and I think, is there context transition involved with that? And there's some where there's some sneaky stuff going on behind the scenes, and I look up dex.guide and
for sure.
See Johnny's.
Yeah, exactly. What Johnny it's for me it's spot on. It's like I can finish. I actually happened to meet today, and I was looking at something that I wrote. It was like I wrote it literally a week ago, and I went to it, and I was like, actually, is this something that was quite embarrassing, to be honest, because I'm in this phase where I'm like transitioning between having only done everything in Power BI to kind of like starting to use Tabular Editor, and then also now to actually only use Tabular Editor is a decision that I made today because I feel I'm very comfortable with it now to use it to write and that kind of stuff. However, the report I was currently working on, I kind of did it halfway through, and I don't know how I did this, but basically I had a measure that wasn't working. And after like an hour and a half of checking it, what the hell, why is this not working? Is because, don't expect me to expand this because I don't know how. Half of it was kind of in with PBIX, and half of it was written in like a calculated calculation group. And I hadn't put them together somehow, and it just wasn't showing up. And I just wanted to kind of I found out what had happened, and I felt like such an idiot. And I was like, okay, from now on, I'm gonna just do everything Tabular Editor because it's so much easier, and I don't want to make that ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I'm definitely finding, with obviously with calculation groups, with that does, obviously that adds a layer of complexity, and I guess especially if you're even if you did write it yourself, or if you picked up something someone else has written and you're trying to navigate it can be quite a challenge. I guess documentation in some form, whether it's comments or whatever, becomes more important.
That's true. That's the documentation is pretty much everyone's weak spot. This is true. I just go to what you said, and also this comment. I often feel like if I've taken over someone else's, project or report, I kind of sometimes feel I'm kind of taking a trip through their brain to kind of understand the logic that they had when they were building these measures or using these concepts. Not that they're wrong, just the fact that it's really hard, as you mentioned, to start to kind of track those back over and start with like, okay, this is that, and that somehow links to this. And it can be quite the journey through a PBIX or a PBIX, which was the question that was asked. Is it PBIX or is it PBIX?
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking to say, someone else brought that up. I think I heard someone say PBIX because I'm a PBIX.
Okay, fair enough. So.
I think PBIX sounds too much like Wheat-Bix to me, or Wheat-Bix if you're from the UK.
That's good.
So PBIX never. I don't know. I just never. PBIX. I guess I tend to spell things out. But
what did you call them? Excel files or Excel SXs? I'm curious now. I was thinking about this.
I go with. Yeah, I guess I go with XLSX. XLSX, yeah. Especially, I think when there was the 2007 Office 2007 came in to distinguish from the old format, I did make a point XLSX.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So,
yeah. But these days, maybe I'd be a bit just say Excel work. To be honest, I guess. Yeah. I just sorry, I see a question there on my Twitter handle.
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
That's okay. In fact, I did think about answering this before I came because I thought it might come up. So there was some. Yeah, I did a trip with back in the day. I I joined the New Zealand High School's jazz orchestra for actually two years on flute, and some of the guys just started calling me Ozer rather than Owen. So Ozer was sort of a nickname that someone else invented. Then I started using it as like a gaming handle, Ozer. But when Ozer was taken, when Ozer Ozer was taken, I put an extra syllable on the end, just randomly Ozeroth. So then I had Ozeroth for longer versions when that was taken.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really mean anything, but Ozer is kind of the starting point. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Don't know why it was thought of, but that's it.
I never thought about it, actually, but Ozer kind of sounds like a nickname like you get like in an American high school film. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the Ozer.
Yeah.
The Ozmeister.
Yeah, the Omeister. I think I've had that one. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
love it.
Kind of has that flavor to it.
There you go. Wow, never even thought about that. When that question was asked, I was that's a good point. What actually is your Twitter? I just looked it up. So not Ozeroth, but Ozeroth. There you go.
Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed about. I'm wondering whether I should change it, but it's be a bit awkward now. It's been so long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of who you are now. It's part of your identity. I was having a conversation actually about Twitter handles the other day because I sometimes get really, really tired of the number of people who are on YouTube as the Power BI guy. I'm like, I have the most unoriginal name ever. And I'm like, okay, I should change. Then I was like, I can't bother to change it. I just, no, that's what it is. And it's fine. And also, I can't think of anything better.
I'm surprised it wasn't take. Yeah, I think you're the original, really, aren't you? Well, we can say you're the original.
I'll claim that, and then it'll be all right. How do I say? I'll tell you. I say XMLA endpoint. Is it wrong? Should I say Zimla? Zimla. 1 second. I'm curious.
I'm with you. Yeah, XMLA works for me, but
what is this? The name's redacted.
That's a bit harsh.
I don't understand. Why would you redact the name Weetabix? It's a fantastic name, Weetabix. Oh my god! No, I can't change now. Yeah. I think it was Bernat. Every time Bernat finds a new Power BI guy on YouTube, he makes sure that he mentions it to me just to upset me. You know what I mean? I'm like, cheers Bernat. I appreciate that. It's like, see how unoriginal you are. It's like, I know what you're gonna do. I realized the other day that you can actually change your YouTube URL to actually instead of this long list of letters and numbers to actually whatever you want. So I changed it to Power BI guy just in case someone else steals it.
Right. Yeah. Well, good call. Yeah.
Okay. Now the conversation's gone to Marmite, by the way, and that's just upsetting. Oh, there you go. So Marmite about a device of his pie charts, maybe. No, can't be having Marmite. Yes. Marmite's just the only time it's right to eat Marmite is if you're like making like a creamy chicken sauce. Put a bit of Marmite in there. It tastes delicious, by the way. That's the only time.
Fair enough. Probably I don't have a strong opinion on that one, but I'm pretty sure I was a Vegemite kid back in the day. That was my go-to spread. But I think I find Marmite a little stronger in some way. Yeah, the taste doesn't. It's just subtly different. But yeah, I'm not going to get into a debate about it.
I love the way basically I actually come on there. I talk about a little bit of DAX and stuff, and like 20 minutes in, we're talking about Marmite. Like what the hell's going on? And let's just let Jeff get us back on track because he's talking about save your arse multiple times with Power Coke and DAX. Oh, there you go.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
I think he means Owen when he says oven. But I'm pretty sure it would be really weird if he was saved his ass by an oven.
Is that the German? No. The German pronunciation? No, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
No.
Owen. Sorry, please continue.
No, but and I think I'm trying to remember when I definitely, all I would say is I really enjoy a DAX problem, a DAX puzzle. So I kind of happy I'm sort of happy to help. I get on I'm not as active on Power BI community, but I did smart oven, I was very active back in the day. I think when the community was in its earlier days, and on the Mr. Excel forum, not so much these days. But yeah, definitely enjoy an interesting problem. So I'll sort of trawl those forums for something kind of challenging. And but glad to help folks like Jeff and as well. So yeah, of course, yeah.
Just on the subject of cool things and help and things, I just saw Daniel pop up, and this is the same Daniel, I'm sure. There was some cool news about I've been using Deneb in the past few months, and I've really been reading a bit of like Vega and Vega. Like, I hope this is the right Daniel. If it's not, I'm sorry. It is.
Should be. Yep.
It is so extraordinarily cool, and I think it's available in the app. Is it correct? Is it the app stores now? I think I've read that. I retweeted about it. I'm very excited about this because it is him. It's me. It's him.
It's me.
Fantastic. That would be embarrassing. I'm talking about the wrong thing.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it just I did say there it is.
If someone hasn't used it, they should check it out. I mean, when I say I've been learning like Vega Lite, I mean like I can do it and I can like try some things, and every now and then sometimes I can achieve what I want to achieve. But I'm like, I would say 500% better than I was when I started, because when I started I didn't even know what it was. But you can achieve some really cool stuff, and for me, I don't know. I think it's nicer to use than Charticulator, which is just a personal preference. But also I listened to Kerry's chat at the start of the week on this Power BI Fest, and it was really interesting. And I immediately DM'd her on Twitter because I had some questions about how can you do this and how can you do that. And then she was very kind, and she showed I couldn't make it cross filter, and I couldn't make it work with the tooltips, and she showed me how to do it. I was like, yes, I can do it now. So awesome. I can try and get some Deneb on some of my Deneb, but that's again pronunciation Deneb, DNeb on my reports now. Have you used it at all?
I've dabbled, but only it's on my to-do list to get in there properly. It's great. Hats off to Daniel for all his work on that.
And to answer Jeff's question, no, I haven't actually. I didn't know that he was a Kiwi, to be honest. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I would love to. It'd be cool. I think I messaged him about it, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. But yes, if you would like to come on a chat, that would be awesome. I'd be very happy about that. So there you go. If I think I've had 3 people from New Zealand now, and then a 4th just to really complete that. That would be fantastic. Just the entire population of New Zealand can come on. Would be fantastic. But no, it was really cool. What's with Power BI? I agree. What is with Power BI in New Zealand? What is going on there? I demand an explanation.
It's okay. Yeah, I was struggling to. I did see that question pop up before. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I think there must be something in the water. I mean, we do have fluoride, I think, in the water. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the exact nature of our fluoridization is. No, I mean, I think I honestly I'm not sure. We have some good. We have some great folks running the user groups in New Zealand. So
nice.
Jeff down in Wellington is involved in one, and we've got Reza Rad with the Auckland of Radicad.
I forgot about that.
Doing the Auckland user group. I think that may be part of that. I mean, yes, I'm also from New Zealand. My Antipodean accent probably, if it wasn't obvious enough, I'll try to make it more emphasized.
We got to strengthen it just to really get the point across. You know, New Zealand, New Zealand definitely wins per capita. This is completely true. I mean, my God. There's also sorry, please, I interrupted. Continue.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't have a smarter answer to that, but I think
You could just say that you're just a very, very, intelligent, educated, and you're very, very good at explaining, and you've got a mathematical and analytical mind. That's just what it comes with being someone from New Zealand. I just made all that up. There you go.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
What's this? You saved your job in 2016. That's mad. That's quite a claim to fame. Someone needs to expand on that. Did you know about that, Owen?
I mean, I think I recall what it was about. It was there was some visual that needed some DEX to make it work. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it saved your job. I didn't realize it was that critical, but I'm glad. Yeah, no, it was fun to solve, regardless.
If my job is ever in jeopardy, I know exactly who to contact now. Yeah, Owen, please work your magic, save my job. Oh man, cool. Yeah, actually, I didn't also.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for joining, by the way.
Oh, left join using DEX.
Nice to have you here as well. No, yeah. Left join using DEX. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. I think yeah, might not have been the one I was thinking of something else, but yeah. I'll have to look through my messages to see what that one was.
If you could remember solving a problem back in 2016, that would be a really, really special memory, I got to say. It's like, oh yeah, I remember the exact code. Let me just type it down again now, because this is exactly what the problem was, and this is like how we solved it. Oh man, I'm currently working on. I have a problem that I can't solve in M at the moment. I'm not sure if it's possible. I need to replace multiple values within this. It's really it's really driving me crazy. When you sit down, you start to do it, and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be easy. Like, no problem. This is going to be fine." And then I found an article by Imca.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't understand it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to have to read this like at least 10 times to get where I need to go." So it's always nice when you find something that you just kind of like, okay, this person has just saved. To be honest, it's not a job saving type, because it's just my own personal Power BI project that I use to practice cool new things on. But still, it's frustrating when you can't achieve something and you think this should be so much easier. What's wrong with me,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I know the feeling. Yeah. And no, I do. Imca's saved my bacon a few times. I'll have to say, to her credit. Some of those functions just that she comes up with come in very handy.
Yeah, completely.
Definitely.
I think it's one of those moments where sometimes I feel like, yeah, but with M, I'm pretty decent. I know what I'm doing there. And then you like read someone else's blog, and you're kind of like, I understood 5%. So that's pretty much where I am. But it's like, it gives you something to strive to, something to achieve one day. I'm not sure. Oh, look at this.
Yep.
I found you mastered DAX bit shift function the day after release. That is mad. I don't even know what a DAX bit shift function is. So, my God, even more impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, they brought in I mean, I let's say I understood the functions, but yeah, that's very generous of you to say, master. Oh yeah, we've started to do every Power BI monthly release. We do a little video at work, my new company, Agile Analytics. So
plug in there.
As part of yep.
Always good.
I'm allowed to do that, but
of course, as much as you want, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, we did a little video, and that was my example. I think it was not this month, but the month before. Yeah. So we, that was my example using actually building on Phil Seamark's something he'd done on binary or bit shift. Yes.
Classic Jeff.
Yes. Converting decimal, producing a binary string for a number. So that was the example. Yeah, Phil Seamark did it before the functions came out. Then I sort of extended it just as a little demo.
Not bad.
Actually, and I used Dex.do is really handy for these sort of situations when you just want to demo some code and don't want to build a model and everything.
There's a question and a half of you. There, just to put you right in the spot there.
This feature missing from Dex. Wow. That's I mean, I think one that I would like is, I think, I mean, a kind of a general area that's missing, which I'm not sure if it fits with Dex. I can measure data labels. I guess that's that's definitely a feature that is missing. Put it that way. It's probably a more of a whether you call it DAX or a reporting feature. Yeah, definitely missing. I would like some more what I would call control structures from other programming languages. In fact, Daniel just mentioned recursion, which would probably fall under that. So something like if you wanted to do a for loop and some sort of logic, something like step through a for loop, have some variables that get up a bit like if you're an M, as it was list generate, that kind of logic. Where you step through, you have some variables that update each time through the loop. You can do some fancy, I think things like tracking how many days in a row did you sell something, something where there's a sequential calculation. That's quite hard. You can do it with iterators, but it's not terribly efficient, and it's not not as flexible as a regular C# or Python or any other language.
I'm gonna just put these on, and I have no problem, by the way, like revealing my own ignorance, especially when it comes to DAX. So I put these on. Sometimes I just don't understand them, but okay, fair enough. So I'm like DAX filter. I've got so many ideas coming in. DAX filter itself, amazing.
I think that's. I remember. I think Mim posted about it. Yeah, it's basically. I'm not quite. I think this might be. Yeah, when you like click on a point on a visual and you want that visual to know that point was selected or whatever. So you can change the title. Somehow that visual is aware of filters applied within it.
That's an interesting one. Recursion seems to be a good answer.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be loving a bit of recursion.
Recursion.
Jeff would love.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Okay, so something like you can calculate a measure. You can have a measure that calculates itself with a modified filter and kind of calculate factorials or whatever. Yeah, with a simple example.
This sounds to me like it shouldn't be possible, because every time you get recursion, it just doesn't let you do it. So I'm like, it's against the laws of physics that recursion can even exist. So if they can build that in, of course, that sounds like it'd be pretty cool. So if everyone says recursion, on my basic understanding of what that is, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's get a recursion in there.
Actually, I like that custom DAX functions.
Where's this one?
Burnett comment just 3 comments ago.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, because I found you can kind of, there are some things that sort of do, calculation groups kind of let you apply the same logic across different measures, that sort of thing. But functions would be great. I want a function that manipulates whatever table in some way and does even table functions that do things. Table functions, create your own table functions. That would be quite cool.
Don't let Bernard hear you say that you can't do absolutely everything in a calculation group. By the way, he will track you down, and he will make you sorry for ever thinking that. So many people got such strong opinions about what's missing in DAX. I love this.
That's a good one. It just seems a weird limitation that you can't have. You basically can't have a conditional table per se with an if function or a switch. You can do funny things with. The only way of being able to get close to that is filter. You have filter a table based on some filter table, then based on some expression that's true or false, and then filter another table based on true or false and do the union. Then you'll get one of the two tables.
Very cool.
But it's
I'm just starting to think that I'm starting to feel bad for you, because I think we've never had anyone come on and have to talk so much, so quickly, so precisely about something so technical. No, I'm like, yeah, fine, it's fine. Just come on. We'll have like a real informal conversation. There's nothing too in depth. And I'm like, Owen, now explain DAX very quickly, very. But this is an amazing lesson. So thank you so much.
I'm finding this quite interesting. Yeah,
it's a very good
dynamic. Yeah, dynamic calculated column from Mim there is that's a big. It's probably a lot of first time Power BI users expect this, because it's kind of what you would have if you're in Excel and you have a column that's calculated based on something else, it'll just update on the fly. But it obviously doesn't work that way. Power BI, but other BI tools, Tableau, for example, does have.
Is there a specific reason it doesn't?
It's basically, it's just the way that so your tables are processed. Calculated columns are computed at the process stage, which is or process recalc, I guess. Yeah. If I got that right. Which is kind of before you start building your report or anything. So the report doesn't influence anything that goes on the report. Doesn't influence the calculation of a calculated column. Filters or what have you. So it's just the way it was designed, I guess. And it's kind of
I can remember thinking that, and I've recently gone through one of my older. I had this like fantasy football report that I've been using for years to kind of try new things and test new things. But I realized, just like I said, this season, I mean this football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, season, that it was such an horrific mess because it was still full of stuff that I was doing in like 2017. So okay, I'll rebuild it, and the number of shocking calculated columns that were just so unnecessary. It's just amazing. I think I've reduced the size of this report just by enormous proportions. Some stuff because I've been developing it over many years, and I've had like ideas, and I've gone back and I was like, how did I have no idea how I did that. Going back to what we said before as well about like, but actually I have no problem with how I did them. It's like, how did I come to the idea to actually include this metric, and how did I arrive here? I was like, you know what? Instead of just thinking about it, just copy and paste it into the new report. This is perfectly fine. This is the fastest way to go about it.
Yeah. No, it's I think that's. I mean, we all same. I improve over time, and I'll revisit something from, well, even last week, to be honest, or a year ago, and just think, why did I do it that way? Then I'll spend half a day tidying it up, which is probably if I have half a day. But
exactly.
It's intriguing how actually you've made me think of this is totally off topic, but there's this old game. When did it come out? An Atari game, Entombed, which I saw an article recently. I'll just very badly show a picture of it on my phone here.
Entombed, it's called.
That's a screenshot there. Entombed. Nice. So it's like a maze sort of traversing game. But they basically, there was this part of the algorithm that no one could figure out about how the maze was generated, and it so it was a bit of code that did something obscure. No one could actually until recently. There's this article here published this year where they did figure out what. So it's how it generated a valid maze using this kind of quite efficient, because back in those days, your memory was severely limited. And
I think I might have seen look it up in a documentary or something about this game. I'm sure I remember watching something about this. Sorry, please continue.
There's probably been something. It's been studied. Academics were researching it for years, but
that's amazing.
This paper, I think, who was it? Look it up. Explaining the Entombed algorithm. That's the paper I found where they did figure it out. But anyway,
that's really
just makes you think. Decades in the future, someone trying to figure out our DEX code. I guess that's
I love that.
An interesting thought.
I think I'm going to try. I'm going to try and post a link. I think I have the link. Oh, it's it.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep. It's just an intriguing. The fact there's sort of this. No one, the original developer, they couldn't track down who exactly came up with that.
Mad.
So I guess it's on us to document, follow best practice, document our code.
I would love to think that one day in 25 years, 30 years from now, someone's going through one of my PBICs and how do you do this? And going through, not because it's so very good, but because it's so very ridiculous. I would never claim to myself, oh my God, he wrote this so well. Like, no. It's just like the logic makes so little sense. How did his brain manage to lead him there? There you go.
Lord of the Links. I'm just like, some of the questions, the smallest, I mean, I've done all-nighters, just on Jeff's comment, I've done some all-nighters on Dax.
Is this question from Jeff, the smallest amount of sleep you've had?
Yeah. Definitely done some all-nighters. I think, I'm trying to remember whether it was work or sometimes those conference presentations, it's just, I've created something that I realized I actually why it's not quite, I need to fix something at last minute or, yeah.
I actually, last night I was trying to do something. I think I went to bed at like 3:30 and then I got up with the kids at like 7. So that was fun. It happens because I get so like focused on stuff and I'm like, I can't go away from it. I have two things. I'm not going to leave my computer until I fix this. And I get to the point where I haven't fixed it. I'm like, okay, that was a lie, but still I need more. It's 3 hours now, so that'll do.
Yeah, not great to do that too often, but
it happens. What's this about? Why parameter action is awesome? Tell us.
This is getting onto, I assume you're talking about Tableau here.
Of course, please tell us about this as well.
I'm not sure I'm necessarily the expert on this, but basically, I guess if you think about, I'll say in the context of Power BI, if you think about, so if you select a point on a visual, let's say you select a point on one visual and you want that to create or potentially update a parameter that feeds into other calculations. So a bit more advanced than simply cross-filtering. So if I click on a bar in a bar chart that might be July, or column chart, say I click on July, I then want some sort of basically parameters that feed off that selection. And it could be that every point I click on, it's like a parameter that increments. So every point I click on increments this parameter becomes a concatenation of everything I clicked on. So I can have some like quite in Tableau. I mean, Tableau is really great with that. That's a great feature of Tableau. I'm not. I won't. While I've used it, I won't call myself I'm not using it day to day, so there's probably been some updates. My previous company, I did do a bit of Tableau, but yeah, I think those interactive visualization features are obviously more sophisticated in Tableau, and it'd be great to see some of that. And hopefully over time, Power BI picks up some of these features. I think naturally with competition being the way it is, I hope Power BI sort of tries to keep up on the visualization front.
I'm also trying to get Mim to come on as well because obviously he has experience. So I don't follow anyone who has more experience with multiple tools than Mim. So I'm trying to convince him to come on and talk about this sort of thing. One day I'll get him.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I saw Kerry's name pop up before. I'm not sure if she's still there, but I was curious as to if Kerry also uses Tableau, because Tableau I find to be visually quite beautiful, and Kerry's very good at the that element. So if you're still there, let us know, Kerry, or I'll just ask you later.
Yeah,
exactly. He is. He's a virtual expert. Mim's
I'm impressed. Yeah.
I respect your shyness. I won't put any peer pressure on you, mate. But it would just be, of course, wonderful, What's this? And Daniel's got a big thing going on. Just see how slow.
Interesting to see how selectors.
They're a bit hard to figure out. Okay, I have no experience with that, but I can well imagine developing within visuals in Power BI seems like a torturous process.
Daniel, I just have to say I'm very impressed with what you've done with not only DNAB, am I pronouncing it? Sorry, I'd never thought of it, but everything else, all your other visuals, and the share. I'd be very keen to learn that. I think you've kind of go all or nothing with developing. I don't think there's a way of sort of writing a Hello World custom visual. Maybe you could. I'd be keen to learn how to do the Hello World visual, but I think I wouldn't be it seems so complex that I need to really learn it properly. You need to go far, far beyond that. But yeah, we'll see.
I think
Maybe I'll.
One of my strange obsessions it's a visual that I've used once ever. I think I mentioned it a while ago. Is this fish tank visualization? I love the fact that someone created that. That was their idea. It's like, okay, it'll be a visualization. It's going to be fish, and something about the fish floating or dying or something or whatever it was. That's the idea that someone ran through. It's like the effort that went into that is fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start creating a secret page in every report. And if you click on a random point, it takes you to the fish tank page, just to confuse the hell out of people. Like, what is going on with this? My God, it's a fantastic idea.
That's that's a fascinating Easter eggs in your reports.
Yeah.
Sort of. No, I like that. I might throw a few in, see if people notice. Yeah.
I noticed that someone I saw that Charticulator isn't yet. It's in there, but it isn't. I'm not sure what the crack is. But I didn't realize that Microsoft went through the same stringent process with their own visuals than they do with externally developed visualizations. I wasn't aware of that, so that's something that's, I suppose, a good thing, that they kind of punish others at the same way they punish themselves. 1 second.
Yeah.
Mim's going for it today. I'm loving this. How do you use Power BI to simulate process optimization? Wow, there's a question.
Okay. I'll not often as the answer. So I think optimization, basically optimizing, running an optimization algorithm, such as, well, I'll tell you what, I've really done one which was intended for a demo, which was, but I guess the so-called diet problem, where you have all these foods you can eat. You want to meet your dietary requirement by minimizing cost. I did solve that once with an R visual, using R packages. I'm using the right term. I'm not an R expert. There's a linear program solver in R which I use. Admittedly, I guess it's a bit tricky because you can't. Sorry, I'll go back a step. So what that visual? I'll see if I've got it here actually.
Do it.
I might. Can I do a screen share? Are we out of time? Maybe
I
not,
can. Yeah. Do a screen if you can. Go for it. Yeah.
Remote Explorer's frozen here. That's all right. I might. I'll talk about it anyway. It's
if you want, you can send me the link in our private chat, and I'll try and do it if you want.
Yeah. My window.
Up to you,
Explorer's kind of frozen list. Yeah. If I can get it, I will. Basically, what I did was, I used an R visual to run the linear program solver. So every time you change your parameters in the Power BI report page, maybe you change the cost of malt or whatever. This was an old school problem with I can't remember what it was, like malt and something on bread. I can't remember what the options were, but basically you change the cost or you change your dietary requirements, and then it resolves the problem and shows you okay, how much should you eat. But I mean, it's not. I think it's a bit impractical to do proper optimization in Power BI on the fly. It's just it's not built for that. Really,
I saw a tool ages ago called, I think it was called Board. It's a BI tool called Board, which is a strange name. Not bored as in oh, I'm so bored, as in bored as in a board, whatever. That should be really good at that. But I haven't heard or seen about it since, to be honest. So whatever. But I don't know. I suppose it's not different tools for different sorts of things, but it's quite I don't know.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's the answer to all questions, apparently.
Yeah. No, Phil's done some amazing stuff. I think you've had Phil on, I think.
I always feel bad because if I think of Phil, the first thing I think of is the Minesweeper game, and I'm sure you'd like to be remembered for more important things than the Minesweeper game. But it was one of the first things I saw, and I was like, "That's so cool!" Like, I mean, it's when I first even saw DAX, and I was like, "Oh, look, I can do the sum of something. Wow, that's cool." And then I opened this page, and it's like, "Here we go. Here is a game made from that thing that you just saw." I was like, "What?" That is just another level. So it's always going to stick in my head. So sorry, Phil.
Yeah. yeah, no, those are amazing. Those games, particularly I really like the maze, the 3D maze one. I did a bit of computer graphics back in my university days, or just I still did a paper on it, and so sort of brought back memories of that. But I wouldn't, it wouldn't have occurred. I mean, I'm sure the Power BI engine is not, if you tried to, to do a full blown sort of 3D environment, it would struggle. But for something like it, I was impressed with how the Power BI engine handled rendering that on the fly. So yeah, it's
well, maybe we should say to Phil, like, I bet you can't create Call of Duty with Dax and then see what it comes up with. I'm not sure. see what happens there.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned before about gaming. Do you still game? Do you still have time to play and what have you, or is it a thing of the past now?
Not as much time to play, and I'll mention someone earlier in the comments said they don't see me on the community forums that much either, because I think I don't have much time for a lot of things these days, but I do get on. But gaming wise, I'm getting a bit back into it just on the PC. I don't have a console at home right now, but just what was I playing the other day? I sort of like the single player sort of survival games, like when I'm playing Soma. I think it's several years old now, but those sort of Amnesia, The Dark Descent, those sort of survival horror games.
That's quite cool.
I like the Silent Hill series back in the day.
Okay, nice.
So sort of or Crash Bandicoot going back further. That was
nice. Classic.
That was my fave. Back when
I used to do a lot of like Xbox game when I was in my mid-20s, and I stopped. But the reason I asked, because I just discovered a few days ago this thing from Google, the Stadia, it's called on Stadia. It's pretty cool. They had it like on the Black Friday deal. I got this thing for like $20. I started play. So it's like I feel it's like a console for people my age who have like don't have the time to switch on an Xbox and then update it and stuff. So it's like a cloud gaming. So it's quite cool. So that's my route back into gaming. So I've been playing some racing games and what have you. There you go. But yeah, cool. I'm also old. I think actually my first experience with games was the Atari 520 ST, and it was very cool. And I had Commodore 64, of course, classic Commodore 64, fantastic stuff. The first thing, and I was really getting into like doing stuff, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I remember I had this really cool idea, because there was words that I didn't understand when you put up your Atari. That had this like very old like loading screen, this blue thing, and there was an option, and if you put your disc in, or it was called back then, the disc thing, and then there was an option to format it. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I format it, I wonder if it'll make the games better. So I took all my favorite games and I formatted them. I was devastated when I found out what format
meant. Oh no.
Yeah, that was a strong moment for me.
Gosh.
Oh man, I'm loving all this. The Amstrad CP. That's the first one I don't know. Which one was the Amstrad? I'm gonna have to Google this. Amstrad CPC. It's not my intention to make you feel old, Daniel.
A friend of mine had an Amstrad, but I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I used to go around to his place. I'm not sure exactly what was there. If it was the same one, but yeah, there's some pretty cool games on there actually.
After all that, the first proper console that I owned was the PlayStation, because I had this like these bits and pieces of like the Atari, and we used to play like football competitions and stuff. Would like have each like set up a league, and we had like a big notebook, and in the notebook would write down who won which game and like draw out league tables back when you had to do that sort of thing. And then exactly.
Okay.
And then I remember I was meant to go to France on a school trip, but I fell off my bike and I broke my arm and I couldn't go anymore. So my parents said, "Okay, with the money, you can buy yourself something." I was like, PlayStation looks cool. And I maintain that to this day that one of the best racing games of all time is a Wipeout. That was a very cool game. This like hover car racing thing. I used to love that. Yeah.
It rings a bell.
Now crack up the P-Bricks and change that. Class. Oh man. Anyway, it was. I always get this point and I say 45 minutes, and of course we go over because my timekeeping is atrocious. So I had to go on. This was an hour earlier. This was my fault because I completely messed up the time zoning, because we organized this before winter time, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be like, what? I think I said 8 o'clock in the morning. I got that wrong. So this is why it was an hour early. This is why my kids aren't in bed at the moment. Oh, 1 second. If you have time, 1 second. Do we have time for one more thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine. Yeah, I see that question pop up.
How quickly do you expect a new pipe to develop the difference between filter and row context? Stop using pleasure. Oh, that's a really good question.
I mean, yeah, I would say pretty well. The earlier the better. The earlier the better. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
For one part, I would say stop using implicit measures. I would say pretty much immediately, because that's one of the first things that you should not do. It depends. Yeah, it's like it's like classic immediate best practice is to not use implicit measures everywhere. Know how to use calculation groups is a completely different thing. I think I was just talking about this with Bernard on Twitter the other day about like when do you get to that kind of side of tabular editor and that sort of stuff. It depends is the question. I would say, like, for me, I always think if someone it's their job. If someone it's their job, it's going to be their job to be a Power BI developer. Then it would make sense to immediately just, this is how Power BI works, and also here's tabular editor. So start using it straight away. But it depends on their job and their role and how often they're going to use the tool.
I think, personally, like filter and row context.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
I think should be better understood. I'm talking generally here than they are, and I think so. I think the suit, that should probably be something you get to in your first month. I don't know. Depends on how fast you're learning and what if you're doing it as your day-to-day job, you want to be onto those concepts pretty early. So definitely one of those courses.
Yeah.
Jeff mentioned, or any courses or the standard books. Whether it's any of the books on DAX, you'd want to get in there pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that trips people up. I think if you go down, you start writing DAX and you haven't grasped those concepts, it can be hard to kind of get back on track. Well, to get yourself back on track, you've got to get those concepts. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's basically kind of get you like to force a habit, you know. If it's something that you start doing straight away, then it just what's the point in doing something one way and then immediately say, okay, now you know how to do that. Now you can do it this way as well. If there's just a way that works better and makes everyone's life easier and your job easier, then go straight there. I think, but it's a bit harder because you have to learn to like navigate yourself around a PBIX. This is how you do that. That's how you do that. And then once you've done that, it's kind of like learning a secondary program that kind of sits on top of Power BI. So for me, learning tabular editor, that was part of the question, right? Yeah, and tabular editor basically should be done quite soon. But I think also like I forget what the question was now. Understanding something and doing something are two different things. Like to know the difference between a filter and a row context. Well, yes, you should kind of like cover it pretty quickly, but they understand it when they understand it. You know what I mean? But actually, when to do certain things, for me, it's kind of like as soon as possible, really. Excuse me.
And totally, yeah. Put a calc group in there, that will turn off your implicit measures. So that's yes.
Very good point, actually. Yeah.
Good point.
This is actually also a thing I encountered because this old report that I was developing was to kind of work out why something wasn't working. It's because I was also using the implicit measures, and I also had the calculation groups, and I was like, "It's not working." Why? I was like, "Okay, because I did something very stupid a few years ago. Now it doesn't work anymore." That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, coming second. I think I've skipped a few questions, but
it's all good, mate. It's all good.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of coming. We can't. There's not usually this many. See, it's just you're such the DAX expert, and you've been answering them so well that people are bombarding you with questions. I'm sure you can put them somewhere, and we'll get at them, but probably not.
Yeah.
But anyway, Owen, thanks so much for coming on, mate. It was awesome. I really enjoyed chatting to you, learning pieces about your work and about you, more importantly. As ever, thank you to everyone who joined, asking all the questions, making all the comments. Makes it so much more fun. And it's awesome. And of course, next week back again at 1 hour later, and did I prepare a graphic who's going to be on next week? I think I did. Yeah, with Sue Bays. That should be good fun. Sue's awesome. So, cool.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
for having me. Thanks, everyone.
And take care, mate. It was my pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.